My boss's boss asked me why I've worked here so long. What was the right answer? I think he realized that you are motivated by very different things than he is. Managers can't understand that other people don't necessarily want to be managers. So if you tell them that you love your job and position and aren't trying to be Elon Musk, they get confused. Having been a higher-level manager for a custodial company, your sentiment is legitimately rare. Honestly, it's an industry with crazy high turnover. Because we as a society think less of people who do that kind of work. Folks ignore the janitor, mostly, and definitely consider them someone beneath them. Even if the work is generally much easier, and far less gross, than people would believe, it's still what many people think is perhaps the lowest form of menial labor. But this means that most people don't want to do the job. It's just a paycheck until they find pretty much anything else. So finding someone who's truly satisfied with it probably never really occurred to the manager. You basically just told them you were a unicorn. He wanted to hear that you go to school at night. Your plans are to become a manager in the next 5 years and to take over his job in the next 10 years. And you're willing to sacrifice your friends and family to do it. Sounds like he was only asking for small talk and probably would have had the same reaction no matter how you answered. Big bosses have no interest in what the workers who actually keep the business running have to say. Let me correct myself, most don't. There are some rare exceptions, but after your answer says he's probably not one of them. Maybe he wanted a deeper answer or something. Sounds like he may have just been randomly wondering what a janitor's expectations in his company were, since usually people in higher paid jobs never stop hunting for the next promotion or raise, both in and out of the company. My answer is always, I haven't won the lottery yet, and I'd rather work here where I know what to expect. I was a courtesy clerk at a store for 2 years by choice. And that was always the kind of comment I got when towards the end of the 2 years PPL would ask why I'd been in an entry-level position for so long, and I'd explain why. Even though I was offered the chance to cashier, I always turned it down because they just didn't seem as happy as me. Like, yeah, I was in charge of picking up all the trash and cleaning the toilets and pushing. But also, I got to walk around the whole store, do a different task pretty much every half hour or less, while everyone else was stuck standing in one place doing the exact same thing over and over again for 8 hours. And my step count went so much higher than it ever was before. One time when one of my bosses asked if I wanted to be a cashier, I asked if there were any tips for not hurting my feet and legs by standing in place for so long every day. And she just chuckled and got super awkward and literally just went, no? Or something to that effect. That pretty much settled it for me, lol. Even the cashiers themselves would tell me I was lucky and they wished they had my job even though theirs paid more XD. The one downside was that it was kind of embarrassing to explain I was a 2-year-old courtesy clerk to anyone who didn't know me well enough to know it wasn't because of incompetence, not being able to do anything else, lol. But that's totally a me thing and shouldn't have bothered me at all, tbh. Dude, I worked as a projectionist for 15 years. For the same reasons as you. And I'd do it again in a heartbeat if it were possible. That might have been based on something you said. Or I offer this alternative, she ain't thinking at all. People are out there not thinking. I came from project managing and being a foreman and building super high-tech cool stuff for SpaceX, Microsoft, Boeing and Lockheed, and the Department of Defense, to being a maintenance tech at a bigger city. My manager and supervisors both recognized how smart I was and how good of a leader I am and wanted me to get into management training ASAP, and I was like, no thanks. I like this job. They stared at me like a monkey trying to do a math problem. It's nice just going to work and just working. Top-level managers often expect a cliché answer. Something like, because I appreciate this company's values. I like to stay at a job I'm comfortable with, not jumping from job to job. In his world where status and salary are the meaning of life, he can't comprehend how someone could be satisfied working as a janitor. He'll probably think back on your response and question his own motivations in life. It's weird, they keep putting money in my account when I do. I don't think it is a question of what answer he wants. I am guessing he is honestly curious. I suspect you come across as someone capable of doing more than janitorial work, but you find it satisfies you. Next time add that you feel you and your work are appreciated. Some people are happy where they are. Others always want more. He is probably one of the latter and cannot understand the former. I'm guessing he can't believe someone would like being a janitor. It's not generally a job anyone likes. I ask myself that same question every day. Bosses don't like to raise the wages of the lower rungs. They like to move them up to higher responsibility positions. Or move them out. He's probably trying to determine if you're more likely to be looking for a raise or for another job. Since you answered neither, his was probably him quickly estimating how long you'd stay there at the same wage.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Aircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.